Humanist values are American values: freedom of conscience, human equality and dignity for all, progress over tradition. We haven't always lived up to those values. Even today, there are those who want to move us backwards. But humanist principles have always been at the core of the American story.
And that's because humanist activists, artists, scientists, and inventors, committed to reason over dogma and human welfare over all else, have taken bold action to move America forward.
Working hand in hand with people who may not have been humanists themselves, but shared our common values of compassion and curiosity. The blueprint of American humanism can be traced all the way back to the 18th century, when figures like Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin, steeped in Enlightenment ideals, envisioned a republic that enshrined individual rights and religious freedom.
Humanists founded Planned Parenthood, the National Organization for Women, and Ms. Magazine, giving rise to the movement for reproductive freedom and making strides towards gender equality.
Humanists like Frederick Douglass and A. Philip Randolph, chairman of the March on Washington, were instrumental in the fight for civil rights. Humanist Lester Mondale wrote the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Another, Felix Adler, was instrumental in the founding of the ACLU.
Humanists like Harvey Milk and Dan Savage advocated for LGBTQ rights and freedom. Humanists have been at the forefront of fights for social justice, not by coincidence, but because of our deep commitment to the equality of all people, the human right of self-determination, and the moral necessity of courage to change the world for the better.
Education, too, has humanist fingerprints all over it. In 1837, Horace Mann, and later John Dewey, believed in establishing free, secular, publicly funded universal education, spearheading the common sense school movement.
The ideas of American humanists revolutionized classrooms, reminding us that education isn't just about facts. It's about equalizing opportunity and nurturing the whole person. Later, humanists like Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow developed humanistic psychology, believing that therapy should be about helping people identify and achieve their own goals in life, coming to a place of self-actualization, rather than treating people as problems to be solved.
Medical pioneers have also answered the humanist call. Jonas Salk developed one of the first successful polio vaccines, not for personal renown, but to free children everywhere from disease.
In the arts, humanists like Mark Twain, Langston Hughes, Zora Neale Hurston, Keith Haring, and Kristen Bell questioned blind faith through irreverent wit, revolutionized the way we think about visual art, and used humor to tell powerful stories that help us consider what we owe to each other.
Politically, secular activists have fought tirelessly to keep government neutral in matters of faith. Humanists like Vashti McCollum, the first female president of the American Humanist Association, worked to end religious instruction in public schools. And today, the American Humanist Association defends every American's right to freedom of conscience without discrimination or favor, alongside allies in both the religious and secular communities, all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Humanists have and continue to change America. Whether in classrooms, clinics, courtrooms, or community centers, humanist principles have been quietly and sometimes thunderously reshaping the face of the United States.
They remind us that progress is not something that happens by accident, but comes when we focus on the needs of our neighbors rather than abstractions or fables, when we're curious enough to ask if there's a better way to do things than what we've been told, when we're willing to stand up to power because we believe human freedom and welfare is the highest good and worth the risk.